This week you can say it was a little bit of play on words, maybe a little bit of confusion, because on the back side of this vehicle it is referred to as a limited, but on the window sticker it was far from the case, with tons of standard features at no additional cost. Hey, welcome to this edition of Road Warrior. I'm your host, Grant Roberson. Now, those play on words, we all know that limited means the next level of excellence, especially with that emblem on the front side of this vehicle. This one specifically being the 2022 Hyundai Sonata Limited. Basically throws all the bells and whistles for one standard price. So to kick things off, really I pulled the window sticker for reference. This vehicle coming in around about $35,000 as you see it, but the biggest column to look at is all the listings of features, not one of them having a dollar amount beside it. Basically saying included, 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 too many times to count. Now, I did say there isn't really any extra cost, but well, there's just one little asterisk. This fancy exterior color comes at just barely a little hint on the radar, around about $400. This being called the quartz white, very striking, especially with the contrasting black accents I'll go over in just a second. The last big upgrade was the carpeted floor mats. That's going to add an extra whopping $169. So basically, all in, this came in around about $35,694. But those are very small add-ons compared to the standard features that run the gamut. Everything from an upgraded and impressive infotainment system, all the LED lighting, and the wow factor that, well, Hyundai has gotten to with this Sonata over the last several years. So this vehicle certainly picks up where it left off in 2021. Not a lot of changes, but what I like on this particular model, again, is this exterior color, this quartz white, really contrasting with all the various black accents right here through the roof paneling, the side accents, as well as a little touch of chrome here and there. But the big story you could say is the wow factor. From the profile, sweeping from front to back, really sporty exterior. That versus kind of the old throwback Thursday Sonatas that just were a little bit more quirky. Hyundai has certainly got rid of that and moved into what we see here. A lot of fluid architecture, and you can say a little bit more sensuous of a design. The grille warfare definitely grabbing people's attention and aggressive and sets the tone. But the other big story is the overall size of this vehicle. Wheelbase around about 112 inches, overall length just under 193. As for width, going to be just over 6 feet wide, not including the mirrors, and height just about 56 inches. Now, me being a big SUV guy, I like the kind of commanding view. This vehicle being a sedan, obviously going to be a little bit lower, but not too bad at around about 5.3 inches of ground clearance. Now, while the front gets most of the attention as you zoom by in this turbocharged engine, you're going to give a lot of people the back end look, and that's where this whole design really culminates. Barely a little bit of a wider track here at the back, not necessarily worth noting, but you'll kind of get this kind of flare, as well as everything culminating to this sloped rear end and just a hint of built-in rear spoiler at the back. Impressive is at the four corners, 235/45s, 18-inch wheel, and you're going to see kind of that dual accent with a modest brushed chrome with darker tucked in accents in the niches, again blending nicely with the chrome here and there and the dark accents all the way around this vehicle. As you look along the side, really sweeping down, just a little bit of chisel here and there, and even better, a flare out that really adds a dynamic look and then tucks back in, almost making your eye go a little wow factor because it just has that much angular effect when you look at it. Now, going to the back, again, what you're going to see is a little bit of curvaceousness. So the interesting play on this vehicle is the hard lines and the voluptuous curves, all of it really blending in. Some vehicles, as I mentioned in the past, are too chiseled up, almost like we've gone to the fitness place too much and gotten too much muscle. This one blending curves and hard edge lines, and we certainly see it back here coming from the rear haunches and coming into this nice sweeping area. At the back end, again, a little bit of curve here, tightening down towards the back end, and again, those dual accents. Now, before we get to the true back end business side of things, now the argument could be that the power plant is the real powerhouse, but the back always has that utilitarian side that gets us from point A to B, not in the physical sense, but also taking all our gear. And when you have a vehicle this big, that is the best bang for your buck, because well, you can throw a whole bunch of stuff inside plus the people. Before we get there, let's talk about smart key systems. This has a lot going on with it, with a lot of vehicle movement when it comes to parking, which you've probably seen. That is for those novices. When they get out, they can kind of move this vehicle forward into the parking space and push it back. That's helpful in really those tight events where you just can't even get out of the door because everyone is so close. So why not kind of remote control it where you need it? But where it really begins is in the lockability, unlocking of this vehicle. It all starts at the front door. Just simply a nice little press here. That will lock it up. Everything flush with the vehicle, so no real look to the apparatus of this. What you also find is when you go right here with your hand, it's intuitive. It knows you're there, unlocks everything with ease. Now, the one big Achilles heel in kind of the sedan market is when it falls short, not giving you access at the rear doors, because again, on rainy days, if you have to go here, then go there, well, it just makes for backseat passengers having that much more aggravation. So no interaction when it comes to locking and unlocking, but again, not that big a deal, but I wish the industry would just move to ease of access all the way around. Now, speaking of ease of access, what you're gonna find is really here at the back trunk area. 16 cubic feet at the back. Not a lot of offering when it comes to the rear trunk lid, but you'll find the cavernous area that awaits you to be very accepting. Now again, to unlock this at first glance, for the novice, where is it? Certainly hidden right here in the H of the Hyundai symbol. Pops up, gets up out of the way. This is where a true full-size trunk like we see here really pays dividends, specifically in these outer niches, because if you like to hit the 18 holes, well, this is going to easily accept your golf bags, which can be kind of a cumbersome, long affair for any sedan, but not here. And especially with the depth of this trunk, you can certainly angle things and easily slide multiple bags of golfing in here, definitely to hit the 18 holes. Now, when it comes to horsepower in the hood, this being kind of right in the middle of the power plants, two of them being turbocharged, either a 2.5 liter standard 4-cylinder or the as-tested 1.6 liter turbocharged, or the 2.5 liter turbocharged found on the inline edition. Now, what we see here is decent horsepower, around about 180 horses, but more importantly, 195 foot-pounds of torque. That comparative to the standard model, which is 191 horses, but only 181 foot-pounds of torque. But if you truly want to have some of that neck snapping fun, that's why the inline edition is here. That's going to take it up to around about 290 horses and 311 foot-pounds of torque. Now, what's great on this model is it does have the 8-speed automatic transmission dual clutch, but more importantly, that manual-like feel in the form of paddle shifters. So with the turbochargers, you're really stepping things up when it has that need for speed. This, you could say, is the entry level for the turbos. Go a little bit further on the inline and, well, you're feeling like a powerhouse. Guerrilla warfare, you could say, is not just about front and center, but also what's going on when it comes to the LED lighting. Obviously menacing under this nice wraparound clear lens, but accenting as well up here, which blends in nicely with this chrome that continues on. Now, when it comes to airflow, a lot of look at venting, specifically right through the middle, dressed up, of course, in that nice bright black and accent. But as you sweep down, lower air induction. Now, once you sweep around here, this is kind of more of a superficial look, giving that venting-like look, specifically right through here, but it does become operational here on the outer side, and again, some ports here as well. So a lot of airflow and just overall menacing look. Front and center on the dash, of course, is this huge, oversized, split touchscreen system. Everything nice and sleek, and again, right where you need it. Now, it does have a nice, easy, reachable knob right here, as well as the various functionality when it comes to zooming into navigation, entertainment, and weather, of course, there on the side. But just simply press right there on the screen, and everything will go full throttle on this specific setting that you're looking for. Now, if you need to get back, just simply hit the home screen. That's going to take it back. Real easy to navigate, and what I like is just the overall architecture, the color, and the vibrancy of how you interact with it. Now, down below, even better is just the dual climate controls up front. Everything digital readout, intuitive, It really just makes life easier. Where it begins, of course, is symmetric knobs on either side, dialing up specifically your favorite temperature, as well as heated and cooled front seats. Vent selection in the form of this up and down, as well as fan speed here. Now, I am a big fan of a bigger knob for fan speed, but this actually works just as well. Other vehicles do some type of press button, whatever. This up and down really makes for an intuitive kind of interaction. Down below that, last but not least, is connectivity with traditional vehicle charger there on the left, USBs, and even better is the wireless charging down below. Just simply take your so-equipped phone or device, place it right here, and just give it a couple of seconds, and you'll see that illuminator there in the back letting you know it's charging up. Gear selection in the form of this setup here, just simple press for park, reverse, neutral, and drive. But when you do want to step things up, well, that's going to be found here on the steering wheel in the form of the paddle shifters. Shifting up on the right, shifting down on the left. I tend to let the vehicle do everything for me, so keep it in automatic mode just makes life a little bit more simple for me. Now, to coincide with the paddle shifters, you do have the various driving modes. I tended to keep it in smart since fuel prices have gone up, but you can just simply toggle through the custom, sport, normal, and smart, really 4 different settings that give you the different driving feels. The move away from analog gauge clusters to what we see here, full digital readout, really again adding to the next level of wow here on the Sonata, because after all, this vehicle again priced again at $35,000. This is type of thing you typically see on Mercedes, BMWs, and other upper end models. What I like is when you do go to the various driving modes, it's not just a simple look to the gauge cluster, but more of an animation as you switch through. Just toggle through and you'll see it kind of get dramatic. This one being on the sport mode, to be expected in the red, and the various driving functions, of course, front and center. You do have a nice heads-up display as well, basically meaning looking down here is fun and it is attractive, but looking straight ahead is even more important. Right there in the middle, of course, gives you all that awareness when it comes to what's around you. Between the front occupants, you will find dual cup holders. Does have the springy-like apparatus to secure the cups or whatever in place. This appears to be some type of electronic device holder, but my phone doesn't fit as easy, but it holds it just enough. But when I'm charging it, and of course it's Bluetooth wirelessly connected, I do keep it up there. But this can hold various items that do fit. Now, what you'll find between the front occupants is certainly an oversized center console. One complaint I've heard from some people is that there is no connectivity when it comes to connecting up, charging, so have you. Typically found in here. Also no illumination, which means at night this will be kind of a dark, cavernous affair. With the overall size of this vehicle, one other big number is legroom. Basically around about 46 inches in the front, pretty much being able to handle any athlete, NBA star, or someone that is not vertically challenged, which also find up front nice automatic power controls, making life so much simpler to stretch out. But that exorbitant amount of space in the front means most drivers will slide forward. What that means in the end is what is remaining in the back seat. Now, on paper, around about 34 inches when the front seats are in their back position. But like I said, most individuals will pull forward. That means the average probably in the back is around about 36, 37, in some cases upwards of 38 inches of legroom. Plenty of comfort for backseat drivers. Now, it does for this edition. Roy Warren, a test drive behind the wheel of the 2022 Hyundai Sonata Limited, vehicle that, even though in its name seems, well, limiting, it truly has the standard upgrade features, of course, with the turbocharged under the hood, the overall size, and just the plethora of lists that says included there on the window sticker. And after all, this vehicle coming in around the mid $30,000 range is a well done package overall, because the sport, the size, and the cargo capabilities delivers a solid sedan that gets you from point A to B, plus a few friends, and again, maybe on the 18 holes that we all like to play. Now, as always, thank you for watching this edition of Road Warrior. Keep both hands on the wheel and eyes straight ahead.